I know it's a bit of a sore subject, but rip, rest in peace, you're short. What happened?
2 years ago, having stocks on chain seemed far away, right? And here we are.
No. This is a really important topic, I think, for people to understand.
Stop shipping, please. Please stop shipping.
We're building the TikTok, Facebook, Instagram killer. Go fuck yourself. No, you're not. Do we want to talk about Uranus?
We can talk about maintenance, yeah. I'm very transparent. What do you want to know about it?
What you just saw, ladies and gentlemen, is a classic rage bait, and I am the fish.
Hello and welcome to Solana's finest podcast, Sol Brothers, together with my dear friend Eno and myself, Simon, where it's our job to throw you into the Solana rabbit hole and show you around in our exciting ecosystem.
Our mission is to help you stay on top of the latest and greatest in Solana so that you never run out of fun things to talk about. Simon, it has been a blockbuster week. I am loving the hair. How are you?
You're loving the non-existent hair. So
yeah.
I went to my barber and I was like, bro, it's time. It's that time of the year. Just use the machine. No scissors today. We're gonna shave. We didn't go full bald this time. I left trace of hair on my head. I didn't do the merch. This time. But almost. Now I look like a proper Balkan dude. Whenever I walk around here in Bulgaria, people are like, "Oh, bro, you look like you're from here." It's official, It's official.
Official. Simon has officially become
migrated.
Full Balkan. Yes, fully migrated.
Yep. Anyway, we're here yet again. Hello and welcome to Solana's finest podcast, Sol Brothers, together with my dear friend Eno and myself, Simon, where it's our job to throw you into the Solana rabbit hole and show you around in our exciting ecosystem.
Our mission is to help you stay on top of the latest and greatest in Solana so that you never run out of fun things to talk about. Simon, it has been a blockbuster week. I am loving the hair. How are you?
You're loving the non-existent hair. So
yeah.
I went to my barber and I was like, bro, it's time. It's that time of the year. Just use the machine. No scissors today. We're gonna shave. We didn't go full bald this time. I left trace of hair on my head. I didn't do the merch. This time. But almost. Now I look like a proper Balkan dude. Whenever I walk around here in Bulgaria, people are like, "Oh, bro, you look like you're from here." It's official, It's official.
Official. Simon has officially become
migrated.
Full Balkan. Yes, fully migrated.
Yep. Anyway, we're here yet again. It's another week, another big week, and we're ready to reflect on what the fuck happened in the past couple of days. Lots of stuff on the agenda again, mostly some infrastructure updates when it comes to Solana. That's like a big chunk of the agenda today is like really just like Solana updates, like what's new on the infrastructure level, on the blockchain level. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We do have some product announcements. Obviously, we're gonna touch on some news from Jup. We're going to touch on some news from SNS, but we're also going to talk a little bit about launchpads, as always, because there's the launchpad wars still going on.
Oh,
Bonk's making wave, man. Like it's.
We love it.
It's pretty crazy. But even Jup Studio right now is also it's picking up a lot of steam. Really shout out to the Jup Studio guys that are really pushing the marketing team around Jupiter, because I think they're close to flipping pumpdotfun. We're gonna look at it today. Maybe they did. Maybe they're still chasing, but it's happening.
Yes. Well, I got a surprise for you, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But first, let's get into the coziest part of the pod. I am so thrilled with this week's price action. But Simon, we got to have a really quick funeral here. I know it's a bit of a sore subject, but rest in peace, you're short. What happened? Oh, no.
Well, how do I put this? Okay, let's move on to the TA section, and you guys are gonna find out. Just share my screen, be so kind. So if you're watching this on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, you can definitely see the chart right here now. You can also see it on Twitter. We're also live streaming right now, by the way. Every Monday around 8 to 9 a.m. UTC, we're gonna go live. If you're on the pod, just listen to my voice when I walk you through the charts right now. So we're looking at Solami right now, the Solana chart in the 1 hour chart on TradingView here, and we can see that it has been quite a push here since wave 2 has bottomed the other day in the $120, $130 region. We've been climbing, and we've been climbing higher than I anticipated. I thought we're not going to make it until $200, honestly. So you see, I can make mistakes. So you should probably never listen to this and be like, yup, I should, trade whatever Simon says. You shouldn't. Take what I say with a grain of salt and add it to your little, data set for better decision making. But you should put more data in there, not just Simon's words, right? Simon says, go short, don't do it. We we went up to $206, $206.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you've seen that coming already in this first push. I really haven't. I thought we are going to top out earlier, and this was also quite a big stretch, even in the elite wave theory here. Like I was tracking the wave counts of this larger wave 3 here, and I think the wave 3 has topped now finally, and it consists of some intra waves here, 1, 2. No, here actually 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and the fifth push was like quite large. That's a bit atypical for elite wave, so that's why I was a bit surprised, especially here. There's a lot of resistance normally around the $200 level, but we still managed to push through it until 206, and that's usually, I think, what really happened here was literally just like tapping into that, like basically chasing it as high as possible in this push to liquidate some positions, and then go down from there. That's usually because markets are, they're not, it's not, like peace and love here. This is war. Everyone competes with each other in trading. If I lose money, someone else makes money. If someone else makes money, I lose money. So it's that's just how it works. And I think some of the more professional traders, they're obviously more sophisticated than me, and they definitely were chasing to liquidate some of these short positions here, and they did. And then we retraced, and now it's the question is what's happening right now. Well, either we bottomed already in this fourth wave and we're right now climbing up again. So that is definitely one scenario. So basically that would mean that this fourth wave here is already done. Okay, so 3, 4, and now we're in this fifth push, and we can, now again we could push to 220, 230, whatever. So really nice clean long position. But the problem is that there's also a very feasible scenario right now that this is just a B wave that we're in right now. So A to the downside, then B to the upside, and now C to the downside. This is kind of a typical, fourth wave correction pattern, the 3-wave structure here. And, it wouldn't surprise me if that happens, honestly, because, it's easy to say, hey, it's easy to believe the bulls right now and be like, okay, I think it's pushing up again, and people, pile in longs here and buy in. But then the market is giving us one more pullback. So definitely cautious right now, looking at these charts here. Bull markets or these impulsive upsides are always super difficult to trade, honestly. It's much easier to trade in a more bearish environment, and just because indicators work better there. In these oversaturated markets right now, there's a lot of irrational things that happen, which makes indicators less useful because the probabilities are less extreme, right? So now we have like, we might have a 60% chance to the downside and a 40% chance to the upside, which makes the trade quite difficult. So we could open something right now. We talked about it before, we wanted to do a bit more live trades. Not sure if that's still on the agenda here for Sol Brothers Pod, but if I would have to do something right now, I would probably go long. Right now, US markets are not open yet. There's, not too much volume here. I don't think there's going to be big moves in the next couple hours, but we just tapped into some of these lower levels here, of these resistance levels here. So I think the price can definitely extend a bit higher in another wave. So up to you, are we going to risk some capital here on Jupe, or are we going to keep it easy today?
We're going to keep it easy today, but only because I'm going to surprise you with some homework that I've done over the weekend. Okay. And I'd love for you to speak on it, just because I think it's a super valuable topic, especially for anybody who's trading alts. Simon, what can you tell us about Bitcoin dominance?
Let's check
It's
it out. Let's check out where we are
it topped
actually.
out, man. It topped out, and now
I'm pretty sure it
it's
did.
on its way down, significantly so.
Yes,
And
yes, yes.
that is a very good thing if you're holding tokens like Salami or Bonk or Jupe or SNS.
Exactly. So I think, yeah, pretty much the 66% was literally what I was watching, right? And a lot of people were watching the 66% level here, and they were hoping that this might incur a turnaround, and it happened. I'm pretty confident that we might be on a good retrace right now, because we did even like we cut through the 62% level, which was prior resistance. We
Yeah,
pretty much flew through there. So BTC dominance dropping means more liquidity in the crypto sector is flowing into other alternative coins. Um, there's also another metric that you can check out, which is the ETH BTC ratio. And that also it's basically basically the opposite chart, right?
yeah,
Because Ethereum symbolizes a lot of times the alt market, including Solana, because Ethereum has just the bigger market cap. So you can see also here that zoomed out even in the weekly, we are literally in this resistance area here from 2019. Okay,
yeah,
so the ETH BTC ratio, meaning the ETH price against the Bitcoin price, bottomed, as it looks like,
hmm
in exactly this region. Because I mean, it's everyone can see that, right? Like there has been a resistance right here, from prior market cycles, and I think it's quite unlikely that we drop below that, honestly. So
hmm
Ethereum was really due to recover, and an ETH pump and an ETH recovery rally usually indicates that other alts pull with it, and that's pretty much what happened already last week. So I think we're, if people ask like when alt season, yeah, let's say it's coming at some point,
yeah,
and probably sooner than later.
yeah, yeah. So the markets are looking pretty healthy right now. I'm feeling very comfortable and just really looking forward to seeing what the next couple of months look like.
Yeah.
We had some darker moments this year, and it definitely didn't look very good for the industry. But I'm happy
Mm.
that things are looking on the up because my bags need the
Yes,
pump.
sir. Yes, sir. We all need it. We all need it. It's due. It's just it has been just it's kind of an exhausting bull market, because
Yeah,
we weren't down. We just were. It was just it was lacking the pump. But I think we saw it now with Bitcoin. But that brought back the feelings of, okay, damn, these assets are fucking, they can fly.
yeah,
And this latest Bitcoin pump then made alts pump. Ethereum went up, and even meme coins now pulled with it as well.
yeah.
So lots of movements happening, and it doesn't look too bad on the fundamental side of things. We might see some rate cuts this week, ladies and gentlemen. Jerome Powell said that it is also likely that this guy is gonna say goodbye because he can't deal with this Trump person anymore. So it seems also that there might be some Fed chairman changes coming up, which is probably bad for the world but good for crypto. Yeah, we don't want to get too philosophical here, but it's a crypto podcast, so whatever is good for crypto, we're happy about it. But obviously, there's always some flip side to the coin.
Yeah.
But without further ado, I think we should probably dive into some more Solami specific topics that are on our agenda today. What do you think? Are we ready for that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing that's we're going to pull up on the screen over here
Mm,
is that SIMD 286 just passed.
yes,
And
sir.
if people are didn't follow SIMD 228 or SIMD 123, you're probably wondering what the fuck is a SIMD? What does a SIMD stand for, Simon? It's a Solana improvement document.
Improvement document. Yes.
Yes, it's a Solana improvement document, and this particular Solana improvement document was to increase the amount of compute units on Solana from 50 million to 60 million. So Mert breaks this down for us, and he says that every transaction on Solana consumes resources, and we call these resources compute units, like fuel for a car. And each transaction consumes a different amount of compute units depending on its complexity. A simple transfer consumes less CUs than a complex multi-dex swap, right? But here's the really interesting thing, and we were talking about this right before the pod, is that like we had SIMD 286 pass, and then
Mm,
within a matter of days, we increased the amount of compute units from, you'll see over here, 50 million to 60 million, again into boom, 60 million to 100 million. That is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah. I think if Solana would be a human being, the vitals are looking really well right now. Whatever
Yeah.
this human being is doing, whatever it's consuming right now, whatever changes it's doing in its daily habits, it's working. Keep doing it, Solana, because
Yeah.
your vitals are in the green. And this is just one, it's one of these examples, like increasing like the need and the ability to increase compute units on Solana is a very good sign, because it means the network is healthy and used. It's consuming data. The database is active, and
Yeah.
that is what you need as an L1. And that's the biggest difference Solana has against 99% of all other L1s, because there's nothing happening on these chains.
And speaking of which, just to prove your point over here, you
Yeah.
can see on this graph that with 60 million compute units, which isn't even the latest amount of CUs available on Solana, but with 60 million compute units, you can average about 1,200 transactions per second. All right. So that means that if you have around 100 million compute units, you're looking at about 2,000 transactions per second. That is absolutely phenomenal. This is more than, as Brian puts it, the capacity of Ethereum and all of its L2s combined. And we truly need it, right? Because that many transactions are actually taking place on the Solana network. That is extremely bullish for our salami.
Yes. And maybe even to like just do a really quick dive into what, because you have to understand, obviously, Solana at its core to an extent, to really understand these topics, which is the problem, because most people don't, which is totally fine as well. But I think it is interesting to at least understand how Solana differs from a traditional centralized database, because that answers the single most important question, which is why. Like, why do we need this in the world? And I think people are mostly unfamiliar with the whole concept of the basically the consensus mechanism on Solana, and how validators work. So I think just to scratch the very surface of this topic, that validators are basically the single most important thing for the Solana network, because they are computers, or nodes, you could call them as well, that basically verify the accuracy of transactions. They create new blocks, and they participate in the consensus, basically the decision making of what's true and what's false. And that's everything. Like, if we don't have that, we can't build internet capital markets, because they require these validators to verify the accuracy of transactions. And they've been doing this since day one of Solana, continuously improving their job, which is very important. So I think people should, no, they don't should, but people that want to understand a bit deeper what Solana is about, I think I will at least link in the show notes on YouTube and in the podcast, I will link a report from Syndica that is really easy read, I would say. It's not too super technical, but it gives you the tools you need to understand Solana at its core. So we're going to put this in the show notes. I make myself a note. But yeah, me personally, like, we're fucking nerds, right? Maybe we don't look like them, but we are fucking nerds. So we think this is exciting, but obviously not everybody does. So I think we should definitely talk more about the use case of this system, which is internet capital market. And I think there's some updates on the ICM front as well, straightly from Ansa, straight from Solana, straight from Anatoly. What happened? What was released here?
Yeah, well, first of all, we should be super excited because I think over the last couple of years, Toly has taken a break from writing essays. And so, like, I'm sure that he was doing a lot of thinking about the future of Solana, specifically how to scale out transactions per second, TPS. But this year, 2025, has been absolutely wonderful because Toly, I think, has finally made a few decisions on how we want to optimize the Solana network going forward. And so, like, especially with Max Resnick, who's joined us from Ethereum onto Solana, he currently works at Anza, which everybody knows is, quite frankly, the unofficial Solana Labs. It's more of a legal fiction. But Max Resnick, I suspect, has been working with Tully to publish these essays. I actually kind of doubt that Tully is the one that's leading the writing of these essays. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that this ICM roadmap talks about exactly the point that you were just referring to, which is like, how does the Solana network function? And we don't really, actually, this would be a really fun pod to do. Maybe get like Max or somebody else from Solana Labs or Anza to, give the Solana network for dummies talk. But the long and short of it is that Solana currently is a proof of history and a proof of stake network. It will continue to be a proof of stake network. But in the future, if you look over here, in the near term, you have jito BAM launching with custom sequencing and Anza reducing transaction latency. But in the midterm, this is where it gets really interesting. 00 is going to continue to cut network latency. Alpenglow will reduce finality to 150 milliseconds, and APE, I don't know what that is, removes execution replay from the transaction path. But one of the key changes that's going to be coming to Solana is that we're getting rid of proof of history, and vote transactions will no longer be on chain. Those are going to be off chain. And that's going to mean that we're going to be able to, I think the current transaction finality is around like 400 milliseconds, if I'm not mistaken. Please don't shoot me if I'm wrong. And that's going to decrease to 150 milliseconds, which means that we will finally be on par with Web 2, right? So this is kind of more of a technical roadmap, which I think is a little confusing, because when you think of ICM, Simon, like, what do you immediately think of?
The use case, right? The blunt use cases, which is we're building capital markets, so trading on chain in a more efficient way than we have it right now on the Nasdaq. So that's internet capital market, and it includes everything from bringing stocks on chain to bringing gold on chain to bringing other commodities or assets overall, RWAs, everything, right?
Even being able to assign value to things that previously you could not create markets for, right? So an example of this would be someone's time, right? So there's a product called, I think, time.fun, and at time.fun you pay for people's time. So whether it be Toli or Cash or whoever it may be, that's what you're paying for. So you can create a capital market around people's time. Like, you cannot do that with stocks, right? Like, that's actually one of the really interesting things about Solana and what's being built here. But yeah, I think that this essay is a little confusing, because when I think of like an internet capital roadmap, I almost think of like all the different ways that we might have capital formation around particular topics, right? But that's not really what this is. This is more of like a technical roadmap. Yeah, it's a technical roadmap.
It's literally a tech basically the next steps for the tech stack that we have on Solana to make ICM, internet capital markets, possible, right? And I think these updates are huge, guys. Like, don't underestimate cutting network latency using 00's infrastructure, which is literally a better internet. That's what 00 is building. Alpenglow, reducing the finality. Alpenglow is going to be a huge update. I don't think it's going to come fully on time, because it just never really happens if you change the engine of a flying plane. So let's see if we can hear news about Alpenglow at Breakpoint. That's the roadmap's timeline. I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be pushed into 2026, Q1, Q2. But still, it's coming. And I think Alpenglow and these kind of updates, they will make our blockchain so much more interesting for ICM use cases, and also help us to distinguish from other blockchains, right? That don't have this tech.
I mean, speaking of not having the tech, check this out. Like, one concept that Solana is exploring is asynchronous execution, which means that, I mean, normally with a block, you would form them one after another, almost in a waterfall process. But what's being proposed now is blocks being built concurrently, which is actually really fucking insane. Usually, like, the finality, it takes, like, you have blocks being built even while previous blocks have not been finalized, but usually that's okay, just because they're finalized so fast, and because like consensus on Solana is very efficient, and so like we haven't had like any cases that I can in recent memory where you started working on a new block, but a previous block that was on its way into being finalized got rejected by everybody, right? Like that hasn't happened in recent memory. So that hasn't been much of an issue. So now we're exploring this new concept or this new tech, which is to basically build blocks concurrently, which is kind of this is where I'd like to think I'm a nerd, but this is where the real nerds will shine through because I do not understand how this is even possible.
This is, by the way, what APE stands for. What we looked at earlier in the post. APE removes execution replay from the transaction path. It's what the post says. So APE is pretty much application controlled execution at the end of the day, and that is basically aims to give applications control over how transactions are sequenced and executed, which helps to build more fair use cases, reduce latency even further, and especially when it comes to trading applications, I think this is useful. And the asynchronous program execution has been written about from Tolly in 2022 the first time. And then reintroduced by 2023 as the asynchronous program execution and broadcast, quite technically. And now I think we're deep diving and readjusting this whole concept a little bit more. With the final goal, I think, to build a more censorship-resistant blockchain, that is a good base layer for internet capital markets. So I think the TLDR here, for everyone that doesn't give a shit about the technicals, is, guys, Solana's on fire. Like, the guys are cooking. Ants are fucking geniuses. Trust Anatoly, trust Resnick, trust the labs team to build the infrastructure that we need to get the token price up. Because that's, at the end of the day, what most people care about. If you care about more than that, you're a fucking G. Because I think it's fucking exciting to see what's possible here as well. And we have so much more work to do to bring more use cases on Solana in a big fashion. But we should also acknowledge where we came from, what we already achieved, right? Like 2 years ago, having stocks on chain seemed far away, right? And here we are.
It didn't just. It wasn't just far away. It felt impossible. Like this idea. Yeah, like this idea that the regulators or anybody would allow any representation or exposure, even to a stock's price on chain.
There was so many question marks around it, and now we kind of.
Yeah, which, I mean, and when it happened too, it happened so suddenly. Like, it's not like there was this buildup. It just one day we woke up and the timeline was like, yeah, we have stocks on chain now. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
That's pretty much how I felt when it came out.
Yeah. I think if anyone has been paying attention for like the last 20 minutes, you'll realize that Simon really knows what the fuck he's talking about. And so that article that Simon is going to post on YouTube, as well as the show notes, like, I really implore you to read those. I'm going to read those. I haven't even read them myself. So like, I'm really looking forward to sharing that link, because I'd love to share my knowledge there.
Yeah. I'll probably even drop it in the comments here in a bit. But we do have more exciting things on the agenda.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about Jito. Should we talk about Jito Sol?
Well, Jito is kind of irrelevant here. They're irrelevant but irrelevant, because the main point is that Jito Sol is now collateral within SSK. For people who don't know what SSK is a staking ETF powered by Rex shares that contains a bunch of different exposures to Solana. So, like, for example, 60% now. So this is as of like 4 days ago or 3. But 60% of the ETF contains just raw dog Solana. Another 42% of the staking ETF contains what's called a 21 share Solana staking ETP. What this really is a block daemon validator. So you're essentially having a validator with Solana staked to that validator. This, I have no idea what the fuck this is. A first American government obligation, no idea. But LSD Solana is, as you can see from this footnote here, Jito Sol, right? So it's not a lot right now. Right now, it's only 500,000 Sol. I know that is a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of the staking market, I mean, like, come on, Simon, right? Like $500,000, and it's really not all that much. But that doesn't matter, right? The point is now we have a staking ETF in the United States that has, as a part of his exposure to Solana, an LST, right? That's never been done before. So, like, what does that mean for LSTs in the future, Simon?
I think it's huge.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I think we need more liquidity, and this is where it came from. Am I correct? Like, is this a good pathway to get liquidity
Oh
into these
yeah.
assets?
Oh
It's
yeah,
huge, no? Is it?
absolutely. Yeah, everyone is talking about how to grow stake, especially since it
Yeah,
looks like the future of staking and validators is like all the fees are going to accrue on the protocol level. So like what that'll mean is that the Jupiter validator and JupSol is going to accrue way more fees because Jupiter basically is Solana. And so like they're going to be capturing all the value from their own platform into their own validator, and right now the gains from validators are kind of socialized, right? Like that's why all the validators and all the staking products have similar yield. Obviously, there are differences based on performance, but amongst the top players, it's all about the same, right? But
mm,
for the future, this might be one of the best ways to attract stake going forward is just getting your LST or your validator included
yeah.
in an ETF. Like that sounds phenomenal. Wouldn't you want like a Solana, a Salami staking ETF that has kind of delegated to like 1,000 different
Bro,
LSTs? Like that sounds
yeah,
pretty
of
sick.
course, of course. I mean, yeah, that is exactly what we need. Like, and I have been talking about this with a few friends internally. I don't know if BM is here, but he also approached me with the idea of just creating a consortium of validators, like maybe 5, 10, 20 kind of mid to small validators on Solana, putting them in one consortium, maybe creating a company for them to collaborate with each other, and then build a product that attracts stake from institutions, from other capital allocators, basically, that are seeking yield, and selling them a set of validators that they delegate to with their investment. So we collect 100K from them, and it gets into a pool, and it gets distributed across a set of. I like this idea is actually really dope. So yeah, PM, I think you're listening to me right now. So we should
I'm
like,
here.
I'm actually excited about it. I'm actually excited about it because it's a lift, right? To structure this
Yeah.
as well correctly, make it legally feasible, and so on. But this is how we get liquidity to Solana,
Yep.
and make the network safer, because we have, like, the more liquidity we put onto validators, the better, the safer the network gets, and we bring in new capital, recurring revenues for protocols like ourselves, like everyone, right? Even if Sol Brothers runs a validator at one point in time, we could make revenue with the validator that keeps our lights on. And then basically the path is Solana validation makes money, so we can yap about Solana and bring more users to the blockchain, right? Like, isn't that beautiful? So these kind of concepts are really cool, and I'm pretty excited about it. That's why I can't stop yapping right now, but I'm gonna stop right here, and we move
No,
on
no,
with
no.
the
I
agenda.
mean, no. This is a really important topic, I think, for people to understand.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the United States is a huge market, like
Mm,
fucking huge. And you cannot sell just on-chain assets to a retirement fund or
yeah.
to a government worker, right? Are you familiar with Roth IRAs, Simon?
Not too much, no.
Okay, well, I mean, essentially, a Roth IRA is a type of account where you can invest within an account and it's tax free, and it's
Hmm.
meant for retirement purposes, right?
Right.
So a Roth IRA has no exposure to on-chain assets. Like you cannot go to your
Mm.
Roth IRA brokerage or your brokerage and then buy Solana on the market on chain. That just does not
E-
exist. It's not set up for that.
ETFs,
Maybe in the but
BTC
ETFs you
ETFs.
can exactly. But
Yeah.
yes, that's exactly the point. Is that you have, let's say, your grandma, or I feel a little bad when I start talking about grandmas in crypto. But okay, let's say your parents who trust you and think that Salami is a good investment because why else would their precious son be spending all their time traveling the world trying to advance the Salami network? And so they want to get exposure to Sol. Well, your mom is not going to start buying a ledger and then going on to Jupiter as much as we would like them to, right? They're just not. And furthermore, even if they were to, it would not be tax free. So it makes a lot of sense for either retirement funds or individual investors in the United States to invest in ETFs through their Roth IRA.
Mm.
Like this is where a lot of this capital comes from. Like, yeah, there are the retirement funds and it's always the retirement funds, but there are the state pension funds as well. But there's also just like the individual retail investor and giving them financial products that they
Mhm.
can actually access. So it's funny because like In Nigeria, they don't have access to like ETFs. They only have access to the on-chain. But in America, it's almost the exact opposite. They do have access to the on-chain, but they're too lazy or incompetent to do so. So like they're just going to invest in the ETFs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we get their liquidity.
Yep, that's how we get it, and it's happening. I mean, yeah, the Solana ETF is old news, right? Now with staking included, that is pretty cool. Like having LSTs and ETFs and so on, and like staking yield included in ETF yield, like that creates some really cool products. Not gonna lie.
Oh, it's sexy, super sexy. Yep. And speaking of sexy, we have a new product that just launched from Pipe Network. So Pipe Network just launched SolanaWave, which offers instant sign-up-free access to Solana's full blockchain history. And it's all accessible in about 56 milliseconds, which is, in the time that it's taken me to say this sentence, there have been thousands of 56 milliseconds.
Yep.
So what do you know about this? I didn't have time to really look into this. Do you want to? Maybe we should just look this up live. But do you have anything that you know about SolanaWave?
I don't think there's like too much other info yet about it. Obviously, we know like Pipe Network itself is working on exactly these kind of things, like data delivery on for Solana. And yeah, I think it just makes it easier for developers to access historical data on the blockchain, which is important for lots of use cases. So the more we can reduce the latency over there, the better.
Well, I think this is such a huge innovation because if you've ever talked to any of your dev friends, the first thing that they say about Solana and like why it sucks to develop on it sometimes is getting the history takes fucking forever. There's a lot of parsing. There's just a lot of work that goes into getting that history. And so now you can get it all for in approximately 56 milliseconds. That's a win. Love that. We love to make tools easier for the devs.
Yep. Pretty cool. So yeah, you can check it out yourself on SolanaWave.ai if you wanna dive a little bit deeper. We just I think found it on the timeline and decided it's interesting to touch on. So here it is for you guys. But I have one more other thing that is that I saw on the timeline this week, which is the Vault token launch. I think I want to really quickly touch on that because it's pretty unique. It kind of matches the topics of today's pod, which is a lot of technical topics, validator topics. The Vault is an infrastructure project. They have their own LST vSol. And you can obviously buy vSol to get exposure to Solana and get staking yield. But vSol is also integrated to a lot of markets. They're on Camino. They have delegation programs. So there's a lot of things that the Vault is actually doing. They are very pro Solana. Not gonna lie, very I think healthy project for the ecosystem. And they had a points program, which is also different than other points programs because the points were on-chain points. So there's like a fixed amount of points. They were on-chain. Everything is trackable. And now they basically released V, the token, and V has a points to tokens conversion rate, basically, where you could convert your V points into V tokens. And these V tokens were then locked for a year, if I'm not mistaken. And after that year, you can take them out. So basically a very healthy way to do it, I would say. No pump and dump, no farming really allowed, because obviously if you participate in this, it already means that you're kind of technical, or at least understand LSTs, because that's the least you need to do to farm these points. And also you need to be okay. There's no other way with the one year lockup for your airdrop, which if that would be if Pump would do that, they would get a huge shitstorm because the Pump audience would hate this because they just want to make fast money and get the fuck out. But I think the Vault, it was taken really well. No one really criticized them because it kind of makes sense. It is understandable. They don't want their token to fucking dump from all these airdrops. So yeah, just quickly wanted to mention if you did participate in any the Vault product so far, if you staked vSol and so on, you might as well check if there's any airdrop for you that is available on the Vault, and then you can convert your points in the tokens and keep them locked for a year. Set a reminder once they're unlocked, you can buy yourself something nice.
As much as we love to see TGE news, there's also some other news out in the Solana universe. Jupiter Pro has gotten a pretty big upgrade. So now they have Launchpad Screener V2, And the whole point of Launchpad Screener V2 is so that you can find the real runners. So to show you some examples of what the the UI looks like, here you can see the daily volume chart by Launchpad, and this is really interesting. The stats that everybody knows, but this is super interesting. You can find runners in real time where they auto detect the strongest daily launches based on actual performance. So these are some of the basic criteria for getting on this list. But I just thought this was super fascinating that they've actually created like a runner's dashboard or UI. I wonder if there's anybody out there in the Solana universe who's like using this to trade, and if they're doing it publicly, I'd love to see what some of the results are.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's difficult right now. For example, we have 2 tokens in the runners section. Again, if you missed it in the post right now, tokens that meet a set of criteria, right, are runners, right? So you need to have a milli in market cap. You need to have 100K in liquidity, more than 1K holders, and 75 or above organic score with Jupiter. So obviously not easy to get into the runner section, right? Like a meme coin getting over $1 million in market cap is a good meme coin. So right now we have 2 coins on there, and the first one is dog shit. No financial advice. It's just what I'm reading here on my screen right now. And that token launched a day ago, right? But it's a Bonk token. It launched on Bonk.fun, and Jupiter is now displaying it as a runner. I think my 2 cents, people want opinions, right? My opinion is that it is useful because those are pretty much the filters that I would set myself. Maybe a little bit lower than that, because here's the caveat. A milli market cap already means the token, it already ran for a while. So yeah. If you want to catch meme coins in a way that trade in and out fairly quickly, there's a high risk affiliated with these talks, because they only show up if they pumped already significantly in the past 24 hours, which increases the chance for a retrace. which increases the chance of a retrace. So just don't buy into the reverse falling knife. How do you call it if it goes the other way?
A knife that you just stick into the ceiling. You just like
if you throw the knife upwards, don't invest into the upwards throwing knife. What the fuck? Anyway, you get the point. But the product is great. I think the product is really cool, especially the Launchpad overview as well. Maybe can you pull up my screen if it's not pulled up already?
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely.
So we're looking at the live leaderboard of Launchpads. Total volume is being compared here, and we basically see all our beloved Launchpads here over a time frame of a month, if I'm not mistaken. Right? This is the 29.6, and here we're 29.7. And we can see the red Let's Bonk Fun has been, coming out of nowhere, within a month. So that's pretty significant. And then where's Jupiter Studio? Jupiter Studio is the yellow, I would say. So they have been doing well here in the last 2-3 days, I would say, because there have been some runners, some bigger runners on Jupiter Studio. And what else? We have 7 day, 1 day. In the last 24 hours, Jupiter Studio overtook pumpdotfun in market share.
Yep.
So that's what I wanted to look at. So Let's Bonk has right now a pretty significant market share in a 1 day, 24-hour view here, and Jupiter Studio 10%, 9%, and then Pump 8%. If that's the trend, then I think the future 7-day and 30-day outlook will look similar. If I now go to 30 days, obviously Pump still has a third of the market, but Let's Bonk almost 60%, and Jupiter Studio and Moonshot are climbing up, right? They're pretty much the same company anyway. So interesting. Jupiter is cooking. Any other things you want to mention here?
Actually, Simon, I'm gonna just a bit of an executive decision here, just because we're on the topic. I was thinking that we were gonna cover this later in the pod, but since we're already on this topic, what happened to Pump.fun, man?
What happened?
Holy shit!
Oh, you the token, yeah. Fuck, I accidentally short too early.
Oh man, look at this fucking chart. It's a thing of beauty. I love to see it. It's not often that I like to dance on a grave, but just. How long have we been talking shit about Pump? I feel like you and we are on record hating on Pump to the max for months. Just, I mean, I think the thing that really pissed me off about Pump was the live streaming debacle. Like that was the thing that really put them on my shit list. But then it's just like the constant extraction and the TGE, which made no sense because they have hundreds of millions of dollars as it is already. And then they extracted more from the ecosystem and I don't know. There's a lot. This is just, there's so much to process here. I don't even know where to start. I feel like, okay, I want to get your take, but like there's just a lot of shit going on right now with Pump. And as you rightfully put out, like Pump is now in third place by market share. So Let's Bonk is at 78%. Tube Studio has finally flipped them. Like, what's your take on all this?
My take is that they're in such a hard spot. I really don't want to be in their shoes, even though they printed so much money. I think if I would be Alan, I would just, I would, you know, these pictures of these random hikers in the mountain with like a smile on their face, and it says, "Your crypto bro." That kind of, you know, made one good trade and now exited the society. And it's just like somewhere in the mountains, you know, there's like a meme around that. And he's just like, my life is great. And he's somewhere in the mountains alone, you know, with his money and everything. It's like, just like, he just took the exit, the exit door. That's what I would do if I would be Alan, because I don't see a way forward. I'm sorry, guys, because here's the thing. They cultivated a community of extractors themselves, right? Because you lead by example. The community Pump has are not people like ourselves. And sorry if there's anyone listening right now that's like heavily on Pump, but you know yourself why you're there. To flip some coins, make a quick buck, and get the fuck out, right? And
I'm not sorry at all. Fuck those guys. Fuck every single one of them.
Yeah. Okay. You know, again, good cop, bad cop. I like you guys still, because there's some well-intentioned people out there that are just trading, and I'm probably talking because sometimes I trade meme coins, right? So, but like big time. If you do it big time, if you launch tokens to extract, like all these devs, you know, that with cabals and like it's all extraction, right? Like, let's be real. That's where I fully agree with Eno here. But my TLDR here is that if you cultivate such a community around your product, then you can sell them on a big vision for your company. We're building the next social media app with trading and compete with Facebook and Instagram. Fuck that. You don't. Like, I want to see that. No one gives a shit, by the way, about that strategy even. Like, either you help us to pump more meme coins, or you get the fuck out. And both is bad.
Look, I just have to get this off my chest.
Let's go.
The Pump TGE was so transparently bad. It was incredibly transparently bad. What am I talking about? Number one, they raised at a $4 billion valuation. How is it going to run from there? Honestly, right? That's number one. Number two, you knew they weren't going to airdrop to you guys. Anybody who thought that Elon and team were going to airdrop to you guys were living in some sort of fantasy cuckoo land, because like there was no fucking way that those guys were going to give you anything for free. Not a single dime. All right. That's number two. Number three, we're building the TikTok, Facebook, Instagram killer. Go fuck yourself. No, you're not. Like, what are you talking about, right? Four, the video that they used to launch was just like every single kind of like dark pattern that you could imagine for trying to get someone to invest. It wasn't even that well done, the video and the way that they promoted the token, like what the future of it would be. It was just transparently bad. Which leads me into kind of where we are today and my final point. So, okay, first of all, if you were dumb enough to buy the Pump token and now just want to break even, you know, you're a dumbass. Second is that you like, now these people, right, and most of them are actually from Ethereum, by the way, are now like, well, Bonk is just here for the short term, like Pump is, and like all these fucking thought pieces, people who I've never seen on my timeline before, people who have never posted about Solana, people who don't care about the ecosystem, right? They just want to make their bag. A bunch of ETH heads came over to Solana, bought Pump, got rugged, and now they're talking shit about Bonk. Fuck you. And it's really beautiful to see. The cope on the timeline is just delicious. I love to see it. It's like, because they're a bunch of fucking randos. I've never seen them before. They don't participate. I don't know who they are. They all got 0x in their name. It's .eth this from base. Fuck y'all. So that's how I felt about it, because I've been seeing a lot of kind of like Pump versus Bonk essays and thought pieces. And the people who every down to the last person, every single person who's been bull posting on Pump know nothing about Solana or its culture, and they just can't fathom why Bonk has such a strong community. It's taken years to build it. You don't just get to come here and, you know, extract a bunch from the ecosystem and then be surprised like when the rest of the eco doesn't want to invest in your shitcoin. So sorry, I finally got that off my chest, but oh man, fuck Pump and everybody who invests in it and everybody who's writing these fucking essays.
Thanks for your insightful take here. You know, that is actually exactly what we need on this podcast. We need your strong opinion.
Have you not been have you not been seeing all these essays that have been coming out just out of nowhere?
Actually, you can send me one or two. I haven't really. Maybe I spent too much time on other shit this weekend, but I haven't really followed that story. There's been too much other fucking.
I love how Simon just low-key said, like, yeah, I actually do stuff with my life.
Yeah. I don't know if that's what I meant. I meant more like other bullshit on Twitter.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Dude, I'm not even done yet. No, I'm not even done yet. This tweet, man.
Okay. Yeah.
Max extracts from Solana the entire time, raises massive funding, then breaks off from Solana to spin up its own chain.
That's bullshit, by the way.
Elon announces Pump Chain, a layer 1 blockchain capable of 10,000 TPS. Fuck you!
No, that's satire, right?
Is it?
Don't give the I mean, look at the account, bro. Look at the
Downs and Guru. I have no idea what this is.
Downs and Guru is not the official watcher guru. So this is satire, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, but here's the fun fact. When I saw this first, I also believed it's true because it fits the whole fucking storyline. It wouldn't surprise me. That's the thing. It wouldn't surprise me if it's true. But so far, we can ensure you guys that there's no official announcement from Pump to do their own L1. That would be fucking hilarious. Let's if they do this, I'm out of here. But I don't think they're going to.
What you just saw, ladies and gentlemen, is a classic rage bait, and I am the fish.
We got it on camera, guys. We got it on camera.
Hey, caveman, could you cut that? I need you to cut that. Pretend like that didn't happen. I'm looking pretty stupid right now.
Moving on.
Yes.
No, sorry. What do we have? We have more jupe.
Yeah.
We have more jupe juice.
So most people know that Jupiter has multiple ways that you can swap. So the way that most people prefer is to use Jupiter Ultra. And the reason why most people like to use Ultra is because it gives you the most efficient swaps, aside from setting all the different parameters yourself, which is a big pain in the ass. And so the reason why this feature, which is Ultra Swap Stats, is so important is because I feel like when you save money, you don't really pay attention to that, right? Because humans are much more afraid of what they lose versus what they gain. But this makes your swaps and the amount that you save way more visible in a way that you have never been able to see before. In fact, I've seen screenshots on the timeline of people who have saved like 6 figures in trading fees.
Yep.
And
Same.
It just makes me wonder, like, first of all, I ain't got it like that. Congratulations. Fuck you. But also, this is a really cool feature, though. You can see how many fees that you've saved over the swaps that you've done on your time using Ultra.
Yep. That's a number you would never know because you're just doing it, without paying attention to it. It's like paying with your credit card. You have no idea how much friction there actually is. Like if you would see a number somewhere that tells you how much money you paid for the transaction with your credit card over the last 5 years, plus how much money the merchant paid, which is ridiculously more than what you paid for the credit card transaction. These numbers are actually really, really interesting, but no one knows them because no one shows them. But here, the company, Jupiter, is showing themselves what's happening in the app in Jupiter Mobile. So you can actually see the fees you saved. I think it's a cool feature. Ultra is the fucking thing that's dope as fuck, and this is just a little nice gimmick in my opinion. But it's nice.
This is super nice too. Like in Jupiter Mobile, just like one click away, you can see fees saved. We also have our very good friend OG. I love this meme. Fuck high fees. All my homies hate high fees.
That's right. Love it. Yeah.
But that
Which
is
one?
not the. Huh?
Which one is OG on the pic?
No comment. Moving on. But that's not the only new feature that's come out of Jupyter this week. There's also a yield estimate, which is live in Jupyter Portfolio. So big ups to Genesis. Have you met Genesis IRL? I think you have.
IRL, I don't know, but I've been on calls.
Yeah.
So yeah, the team's really cool. Good people.
Yeah. But this allows you to get an estimate of all the yield that you're earning from all the different products that you might have in DeFi. I think this is sick because, I mean, this is what people want from a portfolio. They have their money stashed. I know for a fact that we have tokens that are just stashed away in different places. I've just forgotten them, and I'm a little. So I need to plug this into Jupyter Portfolio so that I can figure out all this money that I've scrolled away in different places. Oh, whoa!
Portfolio is so cool. What next?
He kept. I don't know if you remember, but this is my old project, ISC. I didn't even realize that there's a screen. This was in. By the way, the APY on ISC is about 10% still. And cool. Even though we're not operating the project anymore, RWA yield is winning. I absolutely love ISC. But anyways, moving on. And last but not least, all claims in a single view. See all your rewards across 140 protocols. Get real-time claimable balances. Easily claim everything from a single view. So, if you have DeFi rewards, again, that are just sitting around different places in the ecosystem, this is a place where you can go and just claim, all the stuff, that you've earned over time, whether it be cloud rewards or Tensor or Drift or USDC or Rapsol or whatever.
Nice.
Yeah. And that's not
noise. I think
yes.
I just want to say that the whole portfolio product, honestly, everything they do is so useful.
Yes,
it's really refreshing, to see that. I respect that a lot from a team, to be so hyper focused on literal product market fit. What does the market want? A yield estimate is so cool. Claiming airdrops in a single click is so useful. All these things are, they're actually highly useful. So big shout out to the team really for executing tasks that matter instead of fucking around.
Yeah. Jupyter Portfolio is one of those things where it's really hard to monetize, right? Because people don't quite realize how important it is until you. And another thing too is I know that when Genesis was running the project by himself before he got acquired by Jupyter, it's there's this cold start problem where you need people to work with you in order to make your product useful. But if you're not big or important enough, people won't work with you. And people were working with him, but now that he's at Jupyter, he just has so much better access to people, right? And so when he calls and says we're going to integrate your stuff into Jupyter, they do it within let's say a couple of days as opposed to a couple of weeks, and that really matters in terms of product velocity. So I'm very happy for the Jupyter Portfolio team. They're doing some great stuff. And we have oh my god. How much Jupyter news do we have?
Stop
so much Jupyter
news. Please stop shipping.
We can't do it. It's we're spending at least half of this pod just talking about Jupyter updates because there's so much stuff that they ship, but there's just a couple more things that we want to share. So this is a new feature over at Jupyter Studio. So Jupyter Studio is their token launchpad, as most people know. And they have a content delegate feature. You can kind of imagine it as squads, but for your Jupyter Studio profile, right? So if you have a Jupyter Studio profile, which gives you all the details about your project, it's like squads in the sense that it's like a multi-sig. You can grant access to certain wallets that will give it access to make changes to kind of your token page, as it were. They're calling this content delegates. Yes, exactly. Content delegates, and this is where you can go to change all your information with regards to your tokens.
And you know where these features come from the community, because they have been asking for these things. Jupyter is hosting every single week these days, I think, content creator studio spaces on Twitter. I think Sachs from Jup and Juice is sometimes hosting them as a host. Jup and Juice themselves are probably hosting them. Uplink is in there all the time, so you should check these accounts. Soul Brothers sometimes chips in there as well. So you should keep up to date if you want to follow the whole Jupyter Studio saga right now, which is a really interesting niche right now because a lot of stuff happening there. but it's not too big that you can still see everything. Like it's really easy to understand what tokens are right now important here on Drip Studio, who are the people that matter, that talk about tokens. Like it's very easy to oversee everything, while Pump and even Bonk are by now like so huge that you can't process all the information anymore, right?
Yeah.
So check out these spaces, and put yourself into the Drip Studio kind of cabal, and be around these people. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Make it.
Yeah.
If I would have more time, I'd do it more.
Do we want to talk about Uranus?
We can talk about Manus. Yeah, I'm very transparent. What do you want to know about it?
Well, I definitely will not be entering Uranus, which is a
Why?
token.
I'm gonna long Uranus, bro. And
So
this is exactly why the token works so well, because it's so stupid.
Yeah, and stupid. Meow has been using it as an example of what he calls a joke coin, which I'll be very, very... Look, we can all just disagree from time to time, right? I do not understand the distinction between a meme coin and a joke coin. They all kind of feel the same to me. But apparently their joke coins are different from meme coins in some way. But Meow has been pumping this one pretty hard. I mean, like, obviously hasn't been buying it or anything, but has been talking about it quite a bit on the timeline. And it is a runner. It is running a lot. I mean, I think even today it's up like 50-60%, which is pretty insane. The market cap is about like 50 million USD. And you have people like Vesper who are writing like essays about Uranus, which is...
What? Really? About my... Oh, wow.
Yeah. And this, come on. Come on.
Yeah.
This is so ridiculous.
So I showed this yesterday to my normie friend here, who's working in venture capital and in life science. So nothing, no crypto expo, nothing. Very smart guy though. And I was like, bro, can I show you something? He's been a trader as well. So he knows, like in TradFi. I showed him the chart of Uranus, and he looked at the chart and he was like, okay, 60 million. I mean, it's not huge money, but I guess for crypto it's a lot. And I was like, bro, like this is it. And he was like, okay, where does the value come from? Like, bro, it's a meme coin. He's like, oh, okay. And then like a whole conversation sparked about the bad things on crypto, like money laundering and funding terrorists, and it all came from this one. I just showed him the meme coin. So I don't know what I learned from that. I want to have that conversation at some point, not now, but I think we need to be careful what the world thinks about crypto. While I enjoy these memes, and it's a lot of fun, like I look at it and I see a planet with an anus and the 60 million market cap, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. But he sees terrorists laundering money through that token. And it's not, by the way, this is not true. This is just what my friends thinks that these meme coins are doing. But that's the thing. That's the signal. That's worried me a little bit.
Yeah, because what people want from their financial products is trust and safety. Mm-hmm. And as much as we really love a good joke, and we also understand the importance of capital formation around ideas or concepts or even commodities that have never been financially monetized before, even though we understand all of that, there is a huge perception gap between Uranus and world-changing technology, right? So, like, I don't even blame your friend at all. Like, I totally understand why he would be a little weirded out, if not creeped out, at a token like Uranus being pumped by a founder of the biggest protocol on Solana with over 700,000 followers. Yeah, like, I get it.
Yeah.
But you know what? Enough talking about Uranus, Simon. I think we have some more. Oh, do you want to? Is there something you wanted to show?
I mean, so this is a meme right now going around on Twitter.
Yeah.
Meow and I are cooking, and I think the backstory is just a bit funny. Because guys, just be careful and have some respect. Now it's a joke. That's why we all do it, right? But initially it wasn't, because Quant, the little guy, just posted Meow and I cooking, and that's what he posted. And then Meow was like, "Bro, we're not cooking anything."
Yeah.
Like, I told you to not post this picture before taking the photo. You reassured you that it was just for personal use. Now you post this and didn't even tag me. Come on, man. Like, seriously. So yeah, I'm totally in Meow's corner here. Yeah, not cool. Like, at least DM Meow and ask him, hey, can I post this? You know what I mean? That's what I usually do when I post pictures with like highly relevant people. And it sparked like this whole wave of of Meow and I cooking posts, which is like pretty funny.
It's like every single photo that Meow has ever taken with anybody
With
is
someone,
now on Twitter.
Good meme. Not gonna lie, good meme.
Yeah, good meme. Good meme. But as much as we love our friends at Jupiter, we also have to show some special love to our friends over at Solana Name Service, SNS. They have improved their UI for Solana, SNS. So basically how it works is these profiles, right? They've gotten a huge upgrade, so it feels much more like a social media profile. You can see all the different domains that you own. Like, this is a video of it, but instead of a video, let me just give you an actual demo of what that looks like. So if you go over to the SNS website, which is sns.id, you would then go over to where is it? Well, first I got to connect my wallet. I had this connected earlier. Shit. Okay, maybe not do that. Sorry, I want to show my SNS profile. Yes, cool, perfect.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You good?
So this is sns.id. So I'm going to go one more time to the main page, and then you can go over to my domains right here on the very top. You can see all the domains that you own. So my primary, of course, is eno.sol, but I also own cocainekoreanenergy.sol, cyberbro.cyber. I know that you I know that Cyberbro is here, Mert, with the breakdown, and I owe him that domain. And letthemcook.sol. I got to get some more of these domains, man, because they're only $1 right now. But basically, this new UI is, what it looks like now, and this is what the V1 website used to look like, right? It's completely different. It's been revamped. Looks a lot better right now.
Yep. And you can add your socials and stuff, and have like a proper profile basically attached to your .sol.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
It's cool.
But that is not all, actually. More importantly, the LFG campaign is only, you got like 2 more weeks for the campaign. So if you go over here, I believe, to dots, if you click, I've collected over 900 dots. I need to collect way more dots for this campaign. But yeah, we have like 2 more days for the LFG campaign, and you can earn those dots by either buying domains or by completing these missions. And I have not completed this mission, so this is not good. And I believe that, don't you guys also have a mission with SNS, or am I mistaken?
No, we do not have a mission.
I see.
They couldn't edit it anymore when we came around the corner.
I see. Actually, I want to buy a domain right now. What do we
go ahead?
Search domains.
Marketplace.
Yeah, it's only like $1 for a domain of $10 or more. Oh, right. Fuck your pump.sol.
Great.
I'm gonna register that. It's $20. No, it's $20 USDC usually, but then I got the 95% discount. I am just gonna confirm that real quick.
Nice. All right, so just got his new domain, fuckyourpump.sol.
Yes.
Do we have more on the agenda, or are we actually? Did I already look in the future right now when I exited the space, because we're almost done?
Yeah, we're almost done, but there's actually one last thing that I want to cover for our friends over at Bonk, because we absolutely love the Bonk team, and Bonk has been absolutely crushing it. Check this out. Bringing Simon back on over here. Boom. Did you see this video?
I did not see that video, actually.
Oh, man. So this video was cooked up by our very good friend, Dr. PP, another person who has a very strange name that I'm sure your friend would think is a terrorist or a money launderer, but he's actually a world-class animator that used to work over at Cartoon Network, as well as some major animation studios. This entire video was created using AI, which is insane.
Wow.
So I hate to say this because you're German, but Obviously, Pump are the Germans in this analogy. this analogy.
Excuse me. Why are we always the enemy? Why are we always the bad ones? It's gonna be forever like this. Fuck that. I didn't do anything. It wasn't me. Not even my dad.
He's like, Simon's like, I'm Bulgarian.
Exactly. I don't identify as German anymore. If I see this shit. But that's so dope, man. That is so cool.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
I can't believe they made this thing. Yeah. So basically I don't know how they're doing this on a technical level, but essentially what's going on is that if you're a runner on the Bonk Fun platform and you have enough traction and you graduate, you get to do a sex listing through Ranger. So that is, again, I have no idea how Ranger is involved in any of that. Maybe we should get Solid onto a Bonk Fun. Like,
I know. I was thinking, yeah. How does that work? Like, how do, because like now we have these existing tokens that are out, but we are technically, we could be that, like we could be a Bonk token, right? Like, so how do you tap into these existing communities now? You can't. Like if a existing token like Cloud or Solid or Jupe or whatever,
actually you can. You can migrate. I mean, like obviously you wouldn't be able to change the token address, so you wouldn't have the bonk at the very end, and nor do I think you want to, especially in your particular case. But I've been hearing a lot, and I've been noticing a lot of different teams who have been migrating from different platforms, and I think specifically it's their liquidity pools. So I think that you guys work really closely with Borg, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Swissborg. Yeah. So essentially it would mean that you would have to move a lot of your liquidity from Swissborg over to Bonk. So like that is a trade-off. But like I've been seeing this with Believe as well. Like Believe is partnered up with Meteora, and they used to have a bunch of traction, not so much anymore. But Soju has said that multiple teams have been trying to migrate off of Believe and onto Bonk or other launch pads. I mean, he hasn't said that explicitly, but like that's what I've been reading from his tweets is that people have been asking to migrate off of Believe, and where are they going to be migrating to? Well, they're going to be migrating to other launch pads and trying to like market to their communities. So that's just all very interesting.
All right, I'll look into that. Not sure what it means to migrate really. Because the token's live, right? The ad is there. It's tradable. The pools are there. It's not that they have their own liquidity pools, right? You have to set up a, like, what does it mean to migrate a pool to Bonk? Like the Bonk pools are not packed in Bonk. They're just packed in USDC or Sol as well.
Yeah, but you'd be doing on Radium now.
Okay. But we are Radium. But I mean, I guess.
But but that would be like your main pool now, essentially, right? And then that would come with the full weight of working with the Bonk team and marketing to their communities and et cetera, and et cetera.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll look into it. But definitely Bonk has pull now because of these partnerships and of the chances they have. Like, it's if you build basically a good foundation for teams to have success on, you attract all these teams and you can create these really healthy network effects of growth. And Bonk managed to do that right now with Bonk Fun on all KPIs. So yeah, pretty bullish on that front. Looking forward to observe the Launchpad Wars even further. And the saga continues. We're going to update you, ladies and gentlemen, again next week with the news from the trenches, but also news from the Solana core and also news from the Sol Brothers in general when it comes to announces and new things on the blockchain. You can't miss anything if you're tuning into Sol Brothers Pod. So make sure to follow us on X, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram even, and make sure to also drop by in these beautiful live streams every single Monday at 8 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. UTC. We're on the live stream. Eno, we call it a day.
Call it a day.
Wrapping it up.
And one thing I want to say, though, we have some major upgrades coming to the Sol Brothers podcast. We've been very hard at work at some of the visual elements, but we're kicking it up a notch. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think the show is going to change quite a bit. I think, but in a more interactive, much more interviews.
Step by step, we're finding our way. We're listening to the community as well, what you guys want, and experimenting around because we're still fucking early, but there's much more to do when it comes to Sol Brothers. We're building an empire here, and right now we're just at the beginning. Ja, ich bin Deutsch. So, all right. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll see you at the next one when it's time again for Sol Brothers, your deep dive into the Solana ecosystem. Thank you so much for listening to us yapping about all these beautiful things. Check out the validator report in the show notes that we're going to put there as well if you want to understand Solana even more. And have a great week ahead. Peace out.
Peace. Bye, guys.